So, start. Okay, cool. All right, guys, thank you for coming. I know it's Friday and it's towards the end, so appreciate you guys coming in. My name is Somya. I work at Swarm. We focus on making apps for phones, for wearables, and TV. So, just to give you a little background, I was actually researching how to build a Chromecast app for a client, and I went through all of that research, and the client decided to make an Apple TV app instead, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget about this stuff, so I put it together in a slide, and I gave this talk about 9 months ago, and sort of got selected again. And it's actually been really interesting, and I'm going to show you guys just some of the information back then compared to now, and like this space is getting really exciting. So hopefully, hopefully that comes across. I've done a whole bunch of apps. These are some of my Android apps. I've done iOS and Windows and other kind of platforms. But it's been doing apps for about 4 years. And it's like I feel like the TV is the next kind of platform to sort of have that sort of app revolution happen to it. It's super exciting. So what is a Chromecast? Basically, Chromecast lets you take your regular old TV, you plug in a Chromecast, which kind of looks like that, and you turn it into a super cool, brand spanking, everything that your family loves. And just to segue into something a little bit, we love our Chromecast. Both me and my wife, we like to sleep in on the weekends. We have 3 kids. They don't like to sleep in the morning. So what we do is just from our bed, we can just turn on Chromecast and get them watching TV while we sleep in for a little bit. So it's great. It's a lifesaver. If you have kids, get it. All right. So just before we get into some of the tech stuff, I think it's kind of interesting to look at why bother looking at Chromecast. This is a stat actually from 9 months ago. 35.5% of US population are going to have a internet-connected TV this year, right? So I think the number has gone up, but it's like I was saying, it seems to be the future of where we're going to be building apps for. There seems to be quite a few different sort of players in the marketplace. At the moment, this was kind of like 9 months ago, but the people that are leading seem to be Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, and Amazon. Kind of in that order. Apple TV seems to be far ahead. Roku's very close. Chromecast is catching up really rapidly, and Amazon is sort of seems to have beaten all these other guys a little bit as well. So looking at some stats, in 2014, when I was originally putting it together, there was 20 million Apple TV devices out there. That was over 5 years. Roku had about 10 million, and Chromecast 2. And just look at the numbers for 2015, like 17 million. I couldn't get the number for Roku right now. It's all sort of hidden information, but 17 million of Chromecast. Wow. In kind of like 1 year. That's kind of amazing growth. And on a yearly basis, Apple TV last year sold 2 million, Roku 3.8, Chromecast 3.8. It was actually neck to neck. 2015, I'm just making up that 3 number based upon their growth from 20 to 25. And Chromecast has gone from essentially 10 million to 17 million at the moment. So it's some huge growth numbers. I'm not sure if you guys see that. So why Chromecast? It's gone from $35 to $29. And it's actually one of the easiest platforms to build apps for compared to some of the others. It's hardware. It's pretty much a low-power device with low memory, CPU, and GPU limitations. It does do HDMI 1080p. It's got a Wi-Fi network, and it's got a USB cable. Sorry, just out of curiosity, who's got a Chromecast in their home? Everyone. Who's got one of the other platforms? So who's got an Apple TV? Cool. Roku? And the Amazon? Okay. Oh, that was a good little thing. I think these numbers are interesting. All right, so what's it running? It's actually running a Chrome browser. When you start up Chromecast, it's running Chrome, but there's no tabs, there's no windows, there's no pop-ups, there's no interactions. All the interactions happen via the phone. It's a very much a cut-down version of the Chrome browser, right? How does it work? There's actually two components. There's a sender app and a receiver app. The sender app says, hey, start this app ID. The Chromecast then reaches out to Google with the app ID. Google gets back with a URL for the receiver app. The receiver app is actually a web app. It's actually a HTML page that gets loaded. So that's hosted on your, depending on where you're getting it from, it's hosted on a web server. The Chromecast loads that HTML, and then what you do is set up a channel between the sender app and the Chromecast and the receiver app running on the Chromecast to communicate with each other. Any questions on that? That's pretty kind of simple. Just interrupt me. Yeah.
So you can't build natively on the Chromecast, all it is just web applications?
Correct. Yeah.
So applications I see like Twitch or YouTube, for example,
Yeah.
not built natively using that, which is sort of like how you design for, I remember like Roku, you can develop for it natively.
Right.
You just load up the splash screen and you just have
Right.
your menu thing. You don't have to do that on Chromecast.
No, it's just, I mean, think of it as any kind of web page. You can load up any page on your Chromecast. It's a browser. You can load up any kind of web app and interact with it however you want. So you can load up youtube.com. You just can't click on anything, right? So you have to use your phone to sort of be able to navigate around and tap on things.
So it's just like a couple blocks of code that you can implement from that you can take from your SDK and just run on your web app?
Yeah, there's JavaScript code that you can use to connect and basically talk to the web app in Chromecast. Yeah, I'm going to get into that in a second. Yeah, cool, but it's cool. So that's how it works. You can have three different types of sender apps at the moment. You can have an iOS app, an Android app, and a Chrome app. I have another version of this presentation that talks about iOS, and also talks about Xamarin and how you can do it multi-platform, but I'm just going to focus on Android, given this is an Android conference. So, and then you have, you kind of have three different receiver apps. One is the default, which all it does is, you think of the point behind this, is to play video. So all it does is loads a default page, and you say, play this video, and it will start playing video, right? And I'll show a demo in a second. The second option is a styled receiver, which lets you use CSS. Remember, it's HTML, so you can set your custom CSS to control things like what kind of logo gets shown, what colors are shown, basically brand what you see on the TV. And the third option, which is completely custom. You're controlling the HTML, you're controlling where the video player is going, if there's a video player at all, and exactly how the app will interact. And I have a demo that I'll try and show for that. All right, so getting started for development, right? So first, you got to set up a Chromecast on your network. There's plenty of instructions on Google how to do that, so that's pretty straightforward. Next, you got to register a device with Google, and the third thing you need to do is register your app. So I just want to walk through it very quickly so you guys get to see what it is. So step one, you log into the Chromecast SDK console. You have to type in a device, your serial number on your Chromecast. It kind of looks like that. It's very hard to read. And don't try to copy mine and do whatever with it. But what I found is a good tip is take a photo of your Chromecast, and that's how you can read it. Trying to read it like this is kind of nuts. So it's like the stuff underneath the HDMI. I'm not sure you can read it. Then you create a receiver application. It's going to be custom or style, which are the two sort of ones I talked about. And you go ahead and do that. Now we can start sort of writing some code about development. Now, just a couple of little tips. It may take about 15 minutes once you first register your device for it to pick up that it's a development device, and you have to reboot it. You can't just plug it in and leave it in, take it out, put it back in for the changes to take place. So just if you get stuck thinking, oh, why isn't my code working? It's probably you forgot to do that bit, because otherwise it's pretty straightforward. So when I was looking at it, the developer docs were very beta, and it was tough to figure out exactly what was going on. And I almost read it all and go, this doesn't make sense. Let me try to put my own logic on it, put my own categories on it. So step one is to scan for devices. Step two, if you find a device, then you show a Chromecast button. You select the device that you want to cast to. You launch the remote application, and then you play. So I'm going to show the code to do all of those things, right? Scanning. Create a media router. Create a media router instance. Say which kind of application ID that you want to run eventually. Set up a callback for getting sort of events and notifications from the media router, and then on resume, set up the callback. There's no point doing anything if your app's not in focus. So you're trying to. Chromecast can work independently of the app, so if you start a video, you can kill your app and the video will keep going, right? So you only need to connect to a Chromecast device when your app is on the top of the stack. So just do it on resume. You show the cast button. There's actually 3 or 4 different ways. I find this way the easiest. You just create a new menu item. They provide a wrap. They provide an action provider. Use that. It's very simple. It sets it all up. And once you do that, you get this little Chromecast button at the top there. You click on it, and it gives you the options. And all of this code is done for you on the Android side. In iOS, you have to write it all out, but Android, it's all just sort of comes out of the box. So it's kind of cool. And so the next step is to try and launch a remote app. Sorry.
So, quick question. I don't know if you cover this later, but if I want to customize that experience, for instance, and have it happen on a Wear device and not on a mobile device,
right?
Can I get those options manually and process myself?
Yes, you can. You should be able to do that. Yeah. I was going to try and do it for this, but I ran out of time. But yeah, you should be able to do that. Sure. I mean. So with a wearable, right, a lot of the times what you're doing is communicating with your phone. So you should be able to get that data from your phone onto your wearable and send the thing that you selected back to your phone, so the phone can communicate with the Chromecast. All right, so the next step is to create a Google API client. You connect to it. You say you're connecting to the Cast API. You connect. And you listen to the callbacks, and once everything's done, you sort of launch the application that you've either you've created a default application on the remote side, a custom, or styled, right? One of those 3, you launch that application. Once the application gets launched, you create a media player, remote media player. You give a URL, and you say load, and that's kind of it. It's pretty simple, but just reading through the docs, I found it took me a little while to figure it out. But that's it. Do you guys want to? I'm racing through this. So we're going to jump into a demo and check it out, see what it looks like. So I've got a demo app. So I'm gonna try and cast my screen and just to show you guys what I'm doing, because pretty soon I'm not gonna be able to see it. You can't see that. But essentially, I've got like this little sample app. It's got a demo for each one of those. The code of this is all on GitHub, so you can check it out. But there's default app. You can start it, finish it, whatnot. So first step, I'm gonna connect to my Chromecast, and I'm gonna start a default app. So check out the kind of things that you see, right? You see a black splash page, you see that little icon, and a blue loading bar, and just a default video that should hopefully load, right? And I can control the pause and the play. If I want to pause it, I can pause it from my phone. So there's no can't use your TV remote. Basically, your phone becomes your remote. So play again. Now I want to stop this app. All right, so now let's check out a styled app demo. So same thing, I'm going to launch the app, and when it's launched, I've got a custom color of pink, loading color of green, my bar is yellow. And again, same video, I can pause it, play it, do whatever I want, right? And I can stop the app. And finally, I'm going to show you a custom app demo. And with the custom apps, you can add some sort of debugging information. So what I'm showing you here is like a debugging HUD, heads-up display, about all the debug information that's being generated on the client side, right? So if I hit pause, you should see like a pause coming in. If I hit play, then it starts playing again. So pretty simple. So you can do it. You can have the same app in any one of those three experiences, but the custom gives you a lot more sort of debug options. And so the final thing I wanted to show you is you're not limited to just video. And this is, I'm going to try and do this. Someone want to help me? I need 2 volunteers, actually. You're going to be playing a game of tic-tac-toe. Try not to lose. Alright, so this is a game of tic-tac-toe. These guys have a phone experience, and then there's a TV experience, right? So you can click on join the game, and you do join the game. Alright, and you are player O, and it's X's turn. So you go first. Alright. No one's going to win. Oh, no, we don't know yet. So as you can see, it can be pretty interactive. You're not limited to just video or audio, which is what it's kind of designed to do. Thank you guys for the volunteering. You can do anything you want, really. It's just load up a website and go for it. I'm going to just quickly show you guys what that looks like. Let's go back to. So the code for that is right here. This is the page. This is the same page we saw. We look at the source. Here's the source for the app that was running on the TV. And I mean, this is open source code. This is Google sample, but you can sort of check it out and see how easy it is to get going. All right. Sorry. One more thing I wanted to show you guys is if you want to debug a remote application on a Chromecast device, you can connect to the device on port 9222 and see exactly what's being loaded. So it's there. This is not going to work because I turned off the custom app, but you just connect to the device on port 9222. And you can use your regular Chrome browser to debug different things, see how things are being laid out, call JavaScript, whatever you want to do. So that's kind of a cool little debugging kind of tip. So these slides were in case my demo didn't work, but for the styles, these, you can kind of see what I'm doing, just changing the colors, so you get the green and the pink and whatnot. And so, these are the things that are configurable, that you can control. What's the point of having a custom app? There's a couple of areas when you need a custom app. When you're trying to do like live streaming, apparently the default, what comes out of default doesn't work. So what you do is create an HTML page, create a video tag, and then load a custom video. When you got multi-bit rates or streaming media, that's when you have to jump into the custom app. Or if you're creating a completely custom kind of experience.
You mean live streaming, like actually live streaming, or just streaming like HLS?
Yeah, there's a couple of, I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's a couple of formats that just work in the default receiver. They're just like video. But if you have, and there's multiple live streaming formats, right? There's HLS, there's RTMP, there's MPEG Dash and all that sort of stuff. For some of those, you need to create a custom app in order to play those streams. And the details of which ones you need to do what, it's all on their website. That they make that very clear. So I actually did the bonus demo because sometimes this tic-tac-toe is a little finicky to work. So there's been a couple of issues that I think sort of play into the Chromecast. If you notice the security, anyone who's on the network can hop on and take over the TV. We use Chromecast at work, and all of a sudden you see someone else's presentation coming on when you're in the middle of a client meeting, so that's always kind of fun. Another sort of a bigger issue is the cause headers, right? And what that is, the cross-origin stuff. So what happens is when you load a video, there's actually a JavaScript element that's making the call out to load the video. And so that's got to meet the cross-origin sort of requirements, right? So that video needs to be on the same origin. Or you have to specify the cause headers. I ran into this issue. I haven't figured out how to, my solution was, okay, fine, I'll just put it on the same server. I haven't figured out, there's a header you can put in on your video to allow it to be served anywhere. So, you got to watch out for that. And yeah, I just got the standard, we're hiring. If you're interested, like I said, we mess around with, TV, apps, wearables. We're getting into IoT and beacons. We're a product agency, so we help people make products that they want made. So if you're looking for a job, come and see me. And the code is here, and my email and Twitter handles are here. So that was Chromecast. Happy to take any questions. All right. No questions then. Cool. Thank you, guys.